This episode has been brought to you by EM Digital Marketing. For a free digital marketing consultation, contact Edward Morales at 760-587-7168. EM Digital Marketing. Turn clicks into customers. Good morning and welcome to Small Town News Podcast. My name is Gil. It's episode 102, the episode you've all been waiting for. My interview with Mayor Pro Tem of Brawley, Helen Noriega, the one I've been building up in every intro. I think the only one that's been completely oblivious to this is the Mayor Pro Tem herself. No, I like to think, here's the deal. She came over willingly. Knew the format, knew she was entering my house, knew that we were being recorded, knew about the show, knew about the format. We sat down, talked, and then we said goodbye. Then I get an email or I see her. It's like, and she tells me she needs to listen to it before I post it. I said, okay, I'll let you listen to it. I said to her. She says that I cannot post it unless unless I get her permission. And I abided, just because, I don't know, I'm a nice guy. But as I've told people this, each person has told me, and also my lawyers as well, my lawyer friends, they tell me I can't post it. Illegally, there's nothing she can do. But everyone has said, you need to post it, man. And so, and listen, I respect Helen. Like I said, I respect every, elected official. Helen's a strong woman. She didn't get to become a council member without putting herself out there, without saying things that need to be said, and taking that chance. So, my hat's off to her. But in regards to something like this, I'll refuse to be bullied. Because I kind of felt like that at times. And I know you might say, oh, you safe space millennial. But I'm sure there's other people in Brawley who have felt the same way. So, but no, yeah, so I posted it. So I'm going to post it. I have to. It's an elected official. Election season is coming up. She will be running for re-election. And we, the people, the voters that she will be asking for our vote, deserve to know where she stands and her train of thought, or what the state of her thoughts on the state of the city. We deserve to know. And so this is not against her or anything. This is for really the people, as corny, as cliche as that sounds. Because everyone I talked to and told them this whole situation, they all said, post it. You got to post it. Seriously. Friends of mine, friends of hers, everyone. If I did a poll on Facebook and said, should I post the interview or not, I guarantee you, and I'll bet all my bath products that my daughter has worked tirelessly to make, I'll bet all that and more, that everyone would say yes. Majority would say yes. The only one that would probably say no is the Mayor Pro Tem herself. But no, I don't think I asked any tough questions like many of my interviews. I don't think, someone told me that the other night, last night actually. He's like, you need to start grilling on me. I was like, dude, kick back, all right? I'm trying to get into this. I went back, looked at my mission statement when I first created the website, the podcast, and it was to share stories, to allow people to come in and share their story. I've kind of followed that mission, even maybe subconsciously, is that, yeah, I love to listen to what people have to say. I don't know why. I just find it interesting, people's trains of thoughts, whether it's right, wrong, I agree or not. It's I don't know. I feel like I'm studying them most of the time. That makes sense. But anyways, I don't think I asked anything in this interview that out of the ordinary. I think I went at Sam, the mayor, Sam Couchman, I think a little bit harder, or poked at him a little bit more. If I should, he had no qualms about interviewing, releasing it. He didn't make a big deal, or I'd have to get approval and this and that. And so, yeah, and there was no time in the interview when I was like, oh my goodness, oh, that's it. If so, I probably would have been like, okay, I won't post it. Or I don't know, maybe. Or I'm like, okay, I understand. But I don't think anything in here was groundbreaking. I don't think, there's no Watergate or anything, similar to that. A simple interview and conversation. I think, I wish there were some, bombs that were dropped in here, Oh, my goodness. I would have released it like that. But, no. It's pretty bland. I think the build-up that I've done to this throughout all my intros is not going to pay off. So, I'm sorry. I kind of wish I just didn't release it. Just build up a mystery. Just the unaired episode of Helen Noriega. And then years from now, when I'm big time, it'll the unaired episodes, Small Town Dude Podcast. Have an hour-long special of unaired interviews with Helen Noriega and Mark Shapiro. So, which, I didn't air that one. That one just went nowhere. But nonetheless, I hope you enjoy. Like I said, I think the payoff is not, the build-up is not worth the payoff. But once again, you, the voter, you, the listener, can be the decider of that. My name is Gil. I hope you enjoy this episode. I hope you enjoy it as well, Helen. This is no hard feelings. I apologize in advance for absolutely nothing. My name's Gil. Enjoy this. Hello, I'm Small Town News Podcast. My name's Gil. I'm here with council member Helen Noriega.
Excuse me, it's Mayor Pro Tem.
Mayor Pro Tem. Sorry about that. Go ahead. Tell me about yourself, and then we'll go from there.
Okay. I was born and raised in Brawley. I was born in 1951. I had 3 children, 2 boys and a girl. And then in 1985, I proceeded to get my niece, Alexis Cortez. My sister passed away later on, and so I got to pretty much keep her. She lived with us for quite a while, traveled with us. She'd go and stay with my mother once in a while, but most of the time she was ours. She loved coming over and being with Audrey, and Audrey, I think, taught her a lot, because in the end, Alexis became a honor student and did really well in school, along with Audrey, of course, ended up with a 4.17. She was 3rd in her class. And
sounds like Audrey.
Yeah, and she's still doing really well for herself. She's married and has 2 boys, Bruce and Brandon, and works for Rabobank. And Bobby, of course, works for the prison. They're doing wonderfully well. Alexis also lives in Imperial with her 3 children and with her partner, who is a wonderful man, takes very good care of her and the kids. He's not the father of the children, but is very much like a father to them. So then my career started after I asked permission from my husband to go into politics, and that was in 2001. I was on the school board for 12 years after that, and I finally decided to go up a step higher and become a city councilwoman. I've been here, I'm started my 4th year. I've enjoyed every minute of it. I love helping my community, and I want it to prosper even more. The main street is probably the main concern that everybody has, and that is kind of it's all of ours, but the main street is Donnie Wharton and George. They've kind of taken it over, and hopefully, we'll see some new changes down there. I've been kind of really on top of the 8th and G Street burnt building, and I have talked to everybody all the way up to the senator. We're working on it between the county, the city, and Assemblyman Garcia has really helped also. Some people haven't seen any changes, but it takes quite a long time. I have a person who wants to buy the building, but needs for it to be knocked down at least so he can rebuild. So that's what we're kind of in the process, but unfortunately, it's taken a lot longer than I thought it would be.
Why is that?
First of all, because when it belongs to somebody and the person dies, and then supposedly the children take over, and you've got quite a few children in the mix, then nobody wants to take it over because of the fact that I believe there was property tax and other sums of money that needed to be paid. And no one wanted to have to do that. So in the end, it took a few years, and then in the end, the county, I believe, has somewhat taken over because of taxes and other paperwork that hasn't, and financially, that hasn't been taken care of. So this is what we're having to work with. The county says, well, really isn't ours. And, the city, of course, it isn't ours. I mean, it's in our city. Yeah. And that's why we've been working very diligently to see what is it that, we can push, people, the process into getting it done. And so we can, let someone take care of it and do business. And so our revenue, we can start getting revenue on that place there.
Oh, yeah, because I was at the reorganization for El Centro a couple weeks ago, and I got tired of hearing them say, El Centro is the jewel of the county. We are the and why can't Brawley say that? Or can Brawley say that? Why is that? What's going on?
It's kind of tough to answer because there's different things that, I'm not new at this, but in the sense that I'm trying to figure out, okay, what is it that each one of us can do and how far can we go? I'm pretty, I pressure people sometimes and they don't like it. But right now, our city, we don't have, of course, the public director. We're losing our chief. We don't have the assistant to the public director. There's so many positions that people have left, retired, or gone on to other places. They've moved away and left their jobs. So right now we have been putting out there and why people are not really responding that qualify for this. And it could be that maybe we're not paying enough, So we really have to look at that all the way around. Our city manager is bombarded with a lot of work, but we need to take that from her because, she needs to start looking at our city and trying to figure out what is it that needs to be done for it to prosper, for the revenues to start coming in. So I'm hoping that, people out there hear and see. She says she's put in different places, for these positions, and that not too many people have responded. So hopefully the next meeting we will be able to sit down, even if it is closed session, about, what are we going to do with these positions? Do we need to get out there and put more money out? Now, hopefully now that the World Beef is come in and hopefully with that revenue we're able to work a little bit more for our city and do more as time goes by. I want to see that, but I'm told the same as everyone else around here. But I need to stop. That's why I went part-time on my job also, because there was a lot of things that I want to do, for the city, for the community, but I didn't have the time. Of course, I can't really afford to do part-time, but unfortunately, in my heart, I feel that I need to do that.
Yeah. So what, in your eyes, what needs, what's up with Brawley? I feel like I don't know. People say it's dying. People say, like look downtown.
I don't think it's so much downtown. That's what people need to understand. It isn't that one part of Main Street that is all we have. It isn't. You look on East Main, it needs to be taken care of just as good as the west side of the tracks. I see, I get complaints over there. Hey, how come we don't have lights, like the downtown on the west side? So it isn't just Main Street, but unfortunately, because our Main Street was the everything was booming there. So we, as the elderly, we need to kind of bring it back. There's businesses on Main Street that shouldn't, I honestly don't feel that should be there. We should have maybe like a little mall going through there where people can go through and shop at each individual small shop. But these big like Walmarts and stuff, they take over, and it kind of puts a burden on the little shops, and they're not able to do that. But I think that if everywhere else, you see Palm Springs, the little shops in the main, they're still thriving. And I really honestly feel that we can do that. But we also need the help of the community to shop here in our city, because we do go elsewhere. And I say we because I'm also, if I'm headed to San Diego, I'll stop over there and go shopping there. But we really need to stop and help each other. And that's not what we're doing. We're shopping at Food for Less also. They say Vaughn's is high. Well, it's high because there is no competition here. We need to bring competition into this city of ours. Walmart is now thriving. They said it wouldn't work, and look at it. Look how many people are going there all the time. We get people from Mexicali coming in and shopping at Walmart. So I thank God for that there are people from other cities. We have all the North End that comes to shop here. So it is possible.
You said competition. I guess why isn't there?
Yeah, why isn't there? People don't want to open up around here. Yeah. Even the little shops, arts and crafts and little couriers shops that we should have, and it needs to be done. And we have the whole Main Street practically belongs to people that don't even live here. So when they don't care if they rent it out or they don't rent it out. And I think if they don't care about it, they need to sell it. But also, I think we need ordinance that says, you need to keep up your building. You need to make it look presentable and not the way it is. I mean, the burnt buildings, how long did it take us to get those fixed? Why? Because they tell me, well, the people, they don't live here, Helen. They don't care. Well, hell, let's send them a letter from our lawyer and say, hey, you know what? You don't want to fix it. We're going to fix it for you, but we're going to send you the money. And if not, we're going to attach something that you have, that you own. Something. We really need to get stronger on that.
Well, yeah, we're strong with my parents with the whole curb thing at Brownies. So they're strong for people who live here, but not for people who don't.
Really, exactly.
It's crazy.
Yeah, it is crazy. And I truly agree with you 100%. We really need to put our foot down with people that have their buildings here. And they don't want to do anything. They don't want to better those buildings. They need to. Absolutely need to. And even the ones that we do have there, they need to be cleaned up, even on the inside. I've gone into some of those Main Street merchants, and I'm sorry, I wouldn't buy anything in there. Why? Because it's filthy, it's dirty. It needs to be cleaned up. And we need to be more diligent in telling them, hey, go in there and check in and say, you know what, this needs to be changed. Yeah. You need to, we have a cleaning air ordinance or something. We have empty lots right on Main Street that look like crap. You might say
they were burnt down at one point.
Yeah. And all they did was pick up everything and just leave it there. And we have allowed that. Okay, who owns those empty lots? They don't want them. Not going to do anything. Then sell them to people that want to do something.
And when you say we allowed it, who the council, the city,
all
manager,
of us,
community,
beginning with the city council. We really need to start getting on top of that. We need to start talking and saying, hey, what are we going to do with this burnt building? Really, we need to stop and say, okay, city manager, this is This is a list of things that need to get done, you know? But we need to, all of us, agree on it. And we haven't really sat down and talked about things like that. But I think it needs to be put on the agenda.
No, because sometimes I've gone to meetings, and sometimes I at times I found anything I've said it on here. Sometimes I feel like you guys smile, shake hands, and like kind of buddy, and I'm like, where's not this? We don't need anything like Calexico, but we said sit down and really hash out a plan. Is there a plan in place for where you'd like to see Brawley? Have you guys talked? And I mean, what's the plan for Brawley?
Honestly, truthfully, we have not. And yes, we do need to sit down and make some plans. What is it we're going to do with Main Street? You know, what is it we're going to, who are we going to put? We talked about a grant writer, because that's our main concern there, or they're everyone's main concern. And they tell me, Helen, without money, we can't do anything. So true, maybe. But also, if we don't get somebody to bring money in, you know, like grants, long time ago, I brought up about a grant writer. Just recently, George brought it up again. So have we done anything about that? No, we haven't. We need to bring and say, okay, you know, by this date, we need to put it out there. We need to say, you know what, we're looking for a grant writer, just like we're looking for a chief, just like we're looking for a public works. We need to do that. And we need to stop and together work our plan and say, this is what we plan for Brawley. I definitely think we need to do that. We always, you know, when we run, we always say, oh, we want to do this, we want to do that. But do we do it? No, we don't. But it takes three, you know?
Yeah.
It takes three of us. And if more people would come to the city council and say, hey, what are you guys doing with this? And, you know, when are you going to start on it? We need to be pushed. We do. Because otherwise, it doesn't seem like we're going to get anything done. Yeah. We start it, but we don't finish it.
Yeah. And you said push. I feel like at times that's hard in a small community. Because like I've said some things, and I'm like, oh man, like I'm gonna have to probably serve them, and like it's almost like a fear of
retaliation.
Pushing, yeah, all on a personal level. Because like in a small community, you know each other, and sometimes it's hard to hold someone accountable or say something when you're not trying to make it personal or offensive, but they can take it as that. You see what I'm saying?
Okay, but has it got us anywhere? No, it hasn't. Exactly. I mean, I was like that. I want to say probably my first 3 years. I've kind of held back. Some people don't feel like I have, but I have. I need to, you know, start saying, hey, what are we going to do about this? And what are we going to do about that? And not just because I think in November I run again, but that's not it. It's that I live here. I'm 65 years old. I haven't seen a change in a long, long time. We've had, you know, small businesses come in like Infierno, and now they're being, I understand, are being brought out. I just saw that on Facebook last night. They're being brought out. He had told me earlier that day, yesterday, I had seen him, Mr. Babs, and I said, oh, you look very comfortable. And he says, I took a few days off. But never once did he say, I've sold the business, you know. But I understand Miss Babs did. She put it in Facebook. So, you know, it doesn't, people buy things, do things, and then after 2 or 3 years, you know, somebody else takes over. But why? Well, is it because we're not, more people are not taking advantage of those places? You know, again, I talk about, we go out, you know, Westmoreland to the town pump. We don't come to Brawley, to Infierno, you know, things like that. But we need to support our businesses here, all of us, every one of us. And if we don't, then don't complain. Don't complain that something is not working, or, you know, give us ideas. If you have any ideas, I always ask these people who come in and complain, okay, they go, you know, Helen, this isn't done. Okay, then give me an idea of what you feel should be done and how it should be done. Don't just complain. You know, we need ideas. We need help. That you guys put us there, but don't expect us to know everything. I know I don't. But I'll be damned if you give me an idea, I will run with it. If I feel it's good, I'm going to run with it, and I'm going to do whatever I can to continue with it.
But you said it takes 3 votes.
Exactly. Yeah. But that's why I say, but I'm going to continue. I'm going to keep harping. Just like my Palm Avenue street over there. For 3 years, I have been harping about why isn't it prepared? It's on the list. It's on the list, on the list. Well, you know what? They promised me a year and a half ago that it was going to get done. Well, it wasn't done.
Wait, no, what's that again?
Palm Avenue Street.
That's not where the trailer park was supposed to be, was it?
No. It's South Palm Avenue. It's Main and Palm, where the Caltrans business is on the corner, and Garcia.
Okay, all right.
That's Palm Avenue,
Right.
and it's terrible. I mean, if we were to go by there, everyone that's going to be working on this street, if we were to go by there every day, it'd be on the top of the list, because you would have to run through there, and your car would not be. I mean, I used to go there a lot. I don't hardly go there anymore. If anything, I go through I Street and just cross it. But even then, I hate it. And supposedly this month, it's going to be taken care of. And I keep saying supposedly.
Sound more frustrated. Is it frustrating?
It is very frustrating for me. Absolutely frustrating. And and I'm not knocking my street. My city. I'm not knocking the staff. I know we're shorthanded, but you tell me you're going to work on it, and a year and a half later, it's still not being worked on. I get a little frustrated. Yes, I do.
And so, did you expect that coming when you first? I guess what were your thoughts when you first got on the council, and then now? What's changed? What have you realized from your first term as a council member?
I've gone through a lot on the city council. It hasn't been easy. It's been pretty tough, but it's like everything else, I guess. You live and learn.
If you weren't on the council, and you're a citizen of Brawley, would you be happy with the council?
No, because Palm Avenue, Main Street, just because we put benches and flower pots, that's not changing anything. I'm sorry.
That didn't revitalize that?
No, please. No, I'm not happy with us. And I say us because I'm part of it. We really honestly need to do something, whether it be the ordinance to change and have these. I mean, it's filthy sometimes. It's embarrassing. And, our ethics is we don't talk bad about our city, but yet at the same time, I can't be honest if I don't. I've always been very truthful. And yes, it's gotten me into problems at times, but I am not going to hide the truth. Yeah. Never have and never will. And we as a city council need to do better on getting our stuff done.
Yeah. You got to have a plan.
Yeah, exactly.
That's crazy.
And we had a plan, but it hasn't been followed through. We had a plan out there. Exactly, what everything that was going to be done. But again, we don't have a public works director. We don't have the assistant now. The chief is leaving. If he hasn't left already. Just all these excuses that we have.
That's crazy.
It is.
What would you like to see what would you like? I guess 2017, new year. What will you like to see happen? What's the first step you would like to see happen to really move Brawley in the right direction?
I think sitting down with my council and really having a plan.
You mean like you guys don't every Tuesday?
Well, no, because we have an agenda. There's things that need to be done. And I mean, we sit there, I think the last one we were there till 10.
Man, it's Calexico right there.
Oh, no, Calexico goes till 1, 2, it's 3
Calexico
o'clock.
starts at 10.
Yeah, exactly. And not only that, though, it doesn't matter how long it is. It matters what you get done. You can be there 2 hours and prosper and have a plan, and exactly where you're going and what you're doing. And I think we have. Really, and now I think probably the past year, I think we've done much better. Everybody is pretty much working together. We weren't really working together my first 2 years. I didn't feel. But I think in the last year we have. Yeah. We're doing much better. Yeah.
Excited.
I am excited. I am excited. I'm excited for 2017. I think that this year will be better for Brawley, and I pray to God that the plans that we have talked about, that they'll get done. And it's not Palm Street, and I keep bringing that up because that's one of my pet peeves, has been from day one, and the Main Street. But we need the help of the community also. Yeah. Money isn't easy to come by. We need to, our utilities will have to go up. Everywhere in every city they go up. We just have to face the fact that that's the way it is. And I feel sorry for those that cannot afford it. I don't make that much money. I don't even get Social Security. They've taken that away so far. Because I worked for the state. Anyway, that's another story. We'll have to talk about that one later.
So, okay, utilities will go up. I guess your first term, what have you been most proud of that you've been able to accomplish?
Well, I think several things. I've been working with the Elks and the chamber on one thing to make this. I have had this idea of doing a fundraiser to make money for the Elks and money for the chamber. Now I'm trying to see which one is going to pick up the idea. It seems like the Elks has been more enthused about the idea that I have. We won't talk about what the idea is yet, but it will help in that manner. I've helped the trees, the lights on the trees. That I'm very happy about. I couldn't see. Everybody says it's so dull, Brawling. So I figured, okay, let's brighten it up. And I really like the lights on the trees, and I'd like to see lights down around the plaza more, because people sit there. Even at night, I see kids kind of sitting around the benches, and kids trying to be more out in the open, and we really need that. And I think one of my successes is those lights, and we're supposed to be getting street lights around the plaza, real pretty, decorative, to help, when people want to do walks around, or they're even the dogs to bring around. Of course, you got to pick up the poop, but that's one of probably my big things. And then getting, I had been talking, when I was on the school board, I always tell the teachers, I said, these kids need to go to city council meetings and county meetings, even just for them to learn what their city is all about. And finding Mr. Flores got that going, and I think that's a great thing for our students. They need to be more involved in the community, and I see that now. I see that they want to learn more about their city.
Where? I've been looking for them. I need.
Oh yeah, come to our city council. That goes to show you never come.
I watch. I work. I get off.
Hey, we all work.
Yeah, I watch them on the thing though. I watch them. I utilize technology. All right, I'm a millennial. I don't have cable. I don't have a phone line. But yeah, so. So.
Now you make me joke.
Yeah, sorry. No, I watch
see,
yeah.
That's just it. A lot of people tell me. Yeah. Lupe Navarro. Oh, let's talk about Lupe.
Lupe relays a message to me.
Yeah, Lupe Navarro was probably one of the first community members to tell me, you ought to run for city council. Excuse me. You ought to run for city council. And I said, what for? I said, I think that when you're in there, I said, for me, for one, I'm a very strong person, if you ask me a question, I'm going to tell you the truth. Yeah. You're not going to like what I say sometimes, but that's the way I am.
Yeah, you're not supposed to be. Do you feel like that? The council plays nice too much? Sometimes I feel like you guys are, sometimes it's like too nice up there.
Well, I haven't been too nice at times. Yeah. So, we don't want to look bad either, yeah. But I think that politically correct, you still need to say, how you feel. And I have many a times that I've done my verbal questions and answers, and it might not. If you watch other people's faces, as I'm speaking, it hasn't. They haven't been really happy with me, but that's how I feel. And there's things that I don't like, and I think I've pretty much have said, but in the end, if you have 4 people that are agreeing, what do you have? How can you change it? You can't. You like I said before, you have to have 3. So it's not giving up, but you're really defeated. Some people go, well, vote no anyway. And I go, well, I guess I could do that.
You have.
Yeah, and I have.
You have.
I have. I don't do it all the time, but yeah, I have.
I think that the trailer part, right? You were
Oh,
the only
yeah.
one who voted for it?
Yes,
Yeah.
I did. And that's one of the things that people, I really honestly don't believe they understood about the trailer park. I mean, we've got a couple other trailer parks that if people must not have gone around to look at them. They're really nice. They're very well taken care of.
We pass by every day on Main, right?
Yeah, exactly. Very well taken care of. But that's the whole thing. And I think that trailer park would have prospered and would have been good for that part of the city because they were going to have a store. And a lot of those people can't, go to any store. They don't have anything close. That would have been great for them. But I don't know exactly.
It was around the time the apartments got built. I think people were like confused and like you said, not understanding everything.
Yeah, and those apartments that came up on Malin, I mean, there was a long discussion, and we had all the residents surrounding it coming to work against it. But I think now, they look beautiful, and hopefully they keep the maintenance up and keep that going. We're going to have a lot more kids coming to that school because of those apartments. And I pray that everything works out and those are taken care of. The people that live there will also, take pride in where they live.
Yeah, because there are a lot of people, both the trailer park and the apartment, there are a lot of people upset. Mm-hmm. And I remember I went to those meetings. Mm-hmm. And that was so. I guess how do you handle that when you make a decision, you vote on something, and I guess it goes back to just because the people that are in attendance, mm-hmm. Just because they're the loudest doesn't make them the majority or doesn't make it that it is best for the city.
See, to me, I listen to the people that come, and I listen to it, and a lot of them were my friends that came and talked against it, but I still did my homework, and I still, felt. That was the wrong decision, but it was made. Unfortunately, we voted and I was outvoted. But I really honestly think they'd rather have a bunch of dirt, going into their homes and instead of having, the trailer park there and it being taken care of. I honestly felt in my heart that it was going to be good for the community, that part of the community. There was a lot of good things coming out of it.
And so I guess how do you deal with that when you vote on something and you said frustration of the other council members not seeing that in a way?
It gets frustrating at first, but you gotta respect how they vote. Because that's why we're all different. It's like my grandmother said, you have 5 fingers and neither one of them are alike. And they're all going to be different. They're all going to have different ideas. And you have to respect, even if you don't agree. And I've learned that, being on the school. I mean, there was a lot of times I disagreed with how they voted. Senior project, I wasn't for the senior project because there was so many things wrong with it. They just put it out there. They did it and they thought it was great. But they never thought of the whole student body. It was Maine. I mean, there was a lot of times that parents did their projects for their students. The kids didn't do it. Come on. So when you ask me about the votes and how I feel, I respect it. I mean, I have to take it like a grain of salt, you know. That's how they want it. And then I have to think of, how am I going to bring it back? Where, you know, where are we going to, what are we going to do there? Because something needs to be done in that part of town.
Yeah, well, it goes back to, like, a lot of people say nothing happens in the valley, or even nothing happens in Brawley. But then when you say we try to bring something different, we're kind of like, no, like the trailer park, or even, you know, different ideas.
Yes,
Like,
exactly.
really, like,
That's frustrating. When people tell you, hey, Helen, you know, you got to start moving things around. You got to bring revenue into. So, you know, I start talking to these people about, you know, like the trailer park. I told him, the owner that was bringing it in, there was a few people. I said, I think that's a great idea. As long as you go around and talk to the people and let them know. But he said he would call them or something, and, you know, they didn't want to meet. There was a certain
they had their
group.
mind made up.
Yeah, somebody else had already spoken to them. And it's unfortunate because that's only listening to one side of the story. You didn't get the other half. You know, now they look back and they go, well, you know, Helen, I didn't know that. You know, I was telling about the store. Huh?
When it got windy the other day.
Oh, yeah, really. You know, and all the wind. And they talk about that there's chemicals, you know, in the ground and all this stuff.
They tested that too.
Yeah, they did. And
that's what I remember at the meeting. It was like people were like, well, this, and then you guys came back with, well, we studied this, that. And finally, I think someone just said, okay, we just don't want it. And I was like, okay, now that's a great reason. Okay, that's totally justified now. And so, and people might get offended by that we're saying this. But at the end of the day, we have to be honest. Mm-hmm. And because even I was like, wait. I was like, when I saw you vote for it, I was like, I saw it too. And so, Brawley, though. How do we change Brawley? How do we, I guess, maybe the culture change? How do we change a culture in a small town?
You don't. I don't think you really change the cultural. I think there's the young folks that are coming in for like your age and Audrey's age, and, you know, those are the ones that are going to do the changing. Really, honestly and truthfully, I don't think we're going to do here now that we're going to make a lot of changes, because the elderly has their way. And you can't change them, especially the males. You can't change the way they think, because this is how they were taught. I remember just the little things about the word I love you. Back in my times, you very rarely heard, you know, my parents ever say that, or my grandparents, never. You know, that wasn't a word that came out. And nowadays, I mean, I tell my friends, you know, I'm talking on the phone and I say, okay, see you later, I love you. Or my grandkids, my kids, my aunts, uncles, all my family. That's a word that we use consistently now, where was not, you know. And you have these elderly people that are still, you know, in their 80s and 90s that still don't really, if they don't have younger crowd, you know, like you coming around and teaching them, you know, about I love you, they're not going to change. They're not.
Yeah, I don't think my grandma has ever told me I love you. I know she loves me.
Yeah, exactly. But it's not something they learned back then. I don't know why I did, but man, that's probably because I thought about it and I thought, God, my parents hardly ever said that to us. You know, I want to be able to say that. I want to hear it. You know, I want to hear whoever I end up with, you know, that he tells me all the time. Because even my husband, he was brought up as, you know, are you already, I said, hey, honey, you haven't told me you love me. And he says, well, he goes, you already know that. Why do I need to tell you? Like, okay. Well, I thought, heck no. And now I think, you know, I want to hear it. You know, so that's the way it is around here with the elderly. But you guys need to change it. You guys will change it. You have changed it.
It's tough because a lot of young people, like even my age, they don't. I guess it's hard to get them to care about the community when I guess they don't have. Like my dog. Once I had a family, then I was like, okay, what's going on? So I guess it's hard to get young people when you gotta. I feel like you gotta give them a reason, even though it should be reason enough to live. Like you live here, that's you know that should. But because I've tried to get my friends, like I said, I think more older people listen to this than younger people. And I mean, this, it's, and so it's tough to try to get people to care. But I see what Mr. Flores is doing, and I need to get next time you talk to him, tell him to come. I need to get him to come on here.
Okay.
And
okay.
But it's tough to get young people.
And you know what? You ought to get young people. Those kids that are coming in to our city council, you ought to get some of those. The ones that speak up.
Christian Nunez, I'm supposed to get him on.
Yeah.
He denied me at first. I hope he's listening. But then he's like, yeah, I want to come on. I was like, all right.
Yeah. Oh, I think he will now. I think, because he's more into politics now.
Yeah.
He's a rep for Assemblyman Garcia. Yeah. So, and I like to see that. I want to see that. I want younger crowd to be more assertive into their politics and what's going on in the city. I always tell my daughter, get involved. Oh, I don't have time. I have the kids. We all have things to do. I remember being a mother and going home and just by myself making, I don't know how many burritos for the football team, and when the boys were in football and Audrey when she was, I always fed him by myself. Now at least, these families, there's 2 or 3 families that, are paying, for the kids to eat, after their sports or before their sports or something. And that is great. But times are changing. They are. And it's going to take a while. And everyone that complains about Main Street, give me some ideas. Give us some ideas. How can we better? And how can we get these people that own these buildings that live far away? How do we get them to own up and say, okay, all right, let me fix it up. Let me spend some money. Because those buildings are so old. I'd like to see that whole Main Street just knocked down.
Finally, someone says that.
I would like to see it all knocked down and something else
That's
going
all I'm
up.
waiting to hear. No, yeah,
Absolutely.
I agree. It goes back to the younger people, and I think I had Tomas Oliva on, and he said there's almost like you're not considered, if you're being like in your 40s is young in politics locally, and like before that, like, oh, they're young, they don't know. You feel like that at times? Like, I'm sure there's people that listen to me or whatever, like, oh, what does he know? He's just and I guess, so how, like you said, and the older generation might be stuck in the way and say, so how do you, I guess, bridge that gap where older people might think, what do they know about being young, but the younger people do have ideas, and like, well, I guess, how do you bridge it and
I don't think that the older ones are going to be assertive. I really honestly think that the younger crowd needs to be more assertive and talk to their, like you say, your grandmother never says, well, how come you never sat down and told her that?
She has.
Oh, it's a little.
Wait, no, that's my grandma.
No, I know. Yeah. But, how do you change it? It's just like, you're asking me, how do you change it? Well, how do you change your grandmother to be different, in her ways? She's used to it. I don't think you can. It's very difficult to change us older people. Me, I'm different. I don't know. I don't know why, but I love change. I love talking to the younger crowd and, have them ask me questions about how I got here. And I remember going to the high school not too long ago, last year probably, and they said, well, I told them the story about how I started and how I worked in the fields, and I had to always, be my own self and do everything for myself because my parents were always working, and I was the second one born, so I was the older one, and all my siblings always slept in my bed because my older sister never wanted anybody to sleep with her, and we had twin beds. So can you imagine 3-4 of us sleeping on a twin bed? And we didn't sleep the long way, we slept the short way, but that's how we were brought up, to take care of each other. So, and nowadays, kids nowadays, they have everything. Technology. My 5-year-old grandson, I remember babysitting him one day, and he was 2 years old. I was watching a movie. He had his iPad. He was playing a game and watching cartoons. And the now 13-year-old was in his room playing with his technology. All of a sudden, I get cartoons on my TV while I'm watching my movie. It gets interrupted. Come to find out, my 2-year-old knew how to change the channel on my TV on his iPad. And I'm like, whoa. So it's amazing what you younger generation can do. And I think that you guys need to come out and have ideas for us. And we have a business advisory committee. I need people on there. We're looking for, I think we have like 3 or 4 openings on there. Even Lupe Navarro quit. You know? Why?
Did he put that on Facebook?
Yeah. No, did he? Well, now it's going to be on Facebook. It's going to be so he can hear me.
Yeah, come on. Yeah.
They can't quit. I think my daughter is quitting also because they're frustrated. They don't know how to work it. They don't know how to fight for what they believe in, and they have to learn that. They go, well, we don't want to step on anybody's toes. Oh, we don't. Oh, please. You got to step on people's toes sometimes.
Yeah.
You do. In order to get things done, you really do. You're going to upset people. You don't want to, but you're going to have to, because that's the only way things are going to get done.
Yeah. It's tough. My mom's always like, "What'd you say on this? Your thing." I'm like, Mom, if I said it, I said it.
Freedom of speech.
Yeah, and then it goes. You talked about the 4 kids in a bed, and then now one's in this room, and I feel like it goes back though. That, like you said, what can we do now? But what we lost is that sense of taking care of each other.
Exactly.
We have all this, and the distance has gone longer. It went from 4 kids. Can you imagine 4 kids in a single bed? How much bonding and communication took place in there.
Mm-hmm.
And now we got 1 kid in one room, another in another room, and and then that sense of community is gone.
Yeah.
Are we doomed?
I hope not. This drug and this there's no being a family anymore. We're just so busy going different ways. We need to get that back. They say a family that prays together stays together. Those are little things, sitting at the dinner table. Those are very important customs that we used to have. We don't have them anymore very, very much.
And that's people responsibility.
Exactly. Do you sit down at your dinner table all together?
Or sometime in the living room, but we sit together.
I'm talking about table, not living room. Yeah, no. Living room is our place to eat.
No, we sit down at the counter, and my parents even. I mean, I work with my family, so I end up
eating with them.
Yeah. So,
yeah, but you're eating on a time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
whatever.
We still, but that sense of, and that goes back to the people, though.
Exactly. I mean, what we need to do is start these. All of us is 1 day a week, and I know hopefully Audrey's not listening, but 1 day a week, take time for our family. She tells me all the time, Mom, you never have time for us. And she's right. We just are going different ways. I'm in different clubs. I'm going here for the city. They're having a meeting over here. We need to be here. We need to be there. But I think we still need to give that couple of hours time for the kids and the family, the whole family.
Yeah.
Whether you like your daughter-in-law or sister-in-law or whatever, you gotta eat together at least once.
Yeah.
So even once a month maybe.
Yeah.
But
that's how you get the community together and to care. They don't care about each other.
Okay, so I'm going to have this project that I'm working on that I was telling you, and probably more like with the Elks Club, and I'm asking the whole community to come out when I start selling this fundraiser tickets that I want. It's going to be a community, and I do mean community. When I finally come up and I explain what it is, I'll come back and we'll talk about it here, and I'm going to announce what we have in mind. But it's going to be together, to work together, and it's going to take a lot of people to do this one project, but it's hopefully raising money, for a lot for the kids. It's going to have a lot to do with kids, the money raising. I mean, that's what the Elks is about, helping children in special places. So, but when I come back, we'll talk more about that.
Yeah, you did a light show? Because that light show right here down the street, everyone was here. I mean, there was all kinds of cars. No, I'm just kidding. You need a light show. And that's what, I guess I would say, put a light show in.
Hey, let me tell you, it's going to have lots of lights. Right. It's going to have lots of color. Not just on the tables and stuff that I'm going to have, but I mean, I want the whole community, black, white, red, brown. I want everybody to participate in this one.
Yeah, you gotta hold people accountable. You gotta hold
Absolutely
elected officials, but you also gotta hold the people accountable.
Exactly.
It's a mutual agreement that.
Yeah, and I think it would do good that different months every city will take hold of it and do it.
You saw it with the first Fridays and Brawley started it. Now
right
everywhere else is having it.
Yeah. So you know, and I think Brawley's a great community. It will always be in my heart. I mean, it's like I always said, I told Audrey a long time, or she heard me when I said, you know what, when I die, I'm going to wear blue and gold. And now she goes, well, Mom, you said you're going to be cremated. How are you going to wear blue and gold? I said, you'll see. You'll see what my ashes will be in.
Blue and gold ashes. No, it goes back to, we both think Brawley is a great community, but things can be better. And that,
absolutely.
And that's what it goes
can
back
be better.
to. But then you sometimes say, where's your Brawley pride? Well, yeah, we still have it, but just because we criticize or critique certain actions doesn't mean, we're condemning the whole, it's...
No. But let's criticize and have an idea of how we can better it. Let's do that, as a community. Let's not just gripe about it, complain about it. Let's do something, as a community. If you, figure, when you come to me and you say, hey, this needs to be repaired or whatever, repairing like a street or something, okay, that's on us. But there's different things that people complain. I can't even think of one right now. But help me to change it. Like Main Street, help me to change that. What ideas do we have? I have this one person who he's a unique person. He helps everybody financially and, just does marvelous things. And he's willing, if I knock this building down, he'll build it. He'll build it up and do something really great with it. But now I need people to get on to, okay, for instance, this is what I need. I need for people to get on Garcia, onto our Senator, Wesso, on the Congressman, Vargas, to get this done, get that 8th and G Street building to get it knocked down. We need some kind of grant money to get it knocked down. The city paid $60,000 just to knock down inside. So, when it first got burnt down, $60,000. Can you believe it? Do you see a change in it? No, I didn't. But again, I didn't see it at the beginning. But that's a lot of money just to get it, a little parts of it to go in so people don't get hurt as they passing by it. With the earthquake now, who knows, what's going on. We really need to get it knocked down. So I need help with that. I need some kind of money coming from somewhere. And we, as the city manager, city council, we need to work together and find out where we're going to get a grant to knock that down or get it going.
We're approaching the hour.
Yes.
We'll wrap it up. Any final thoughts, burning desires? Anything you'd like to share with anyone listening or who's going to listen?
No, I just want everyone to know that I'm there for them. And if, they ever have, something to do with the city and they need help on it, let me know. We as a council are working together. We don't see eye to eye and everything. But one thing is that we will work together in the end. We'll agree to disagree.
All right. Well,
okay.
Helen Noriega, Mayor Pro Tem.
Thank you.
Thank you.